Hi everyone, Kevin Muldoon here again with another review of a mobile phone cover. This is another case from the company GMYLE, and if you looked at my last video you would have saw that I reviewed their bookcase one. It's the bookcase vintage one. Now this is the folio style and this one is too. Now I have to give a lot of thanks to the company because they did send both of these to me for review, and that does make my life a lot easier for reviewing items on my channel, so kudos to them for doing that. Do check them out at GMYLE.com. They've got some really cool collections on there. This one comes under the bookcase collection, but they also have marble, and the wood and bamboo collection looks absolutely awesome, so do check that out. So this one here, as I spoke about last time, is $29.98. Well, this one is known as the wallet case clip to be exact, and this one retails for $19.98 from GMYLE.com. It comes in pink and champagne gold and black and champagne gold, and you can see why it's called that. You know, it's black at the top and it's got champagne down at the bottom. Very similar style to the other one. You know, you've got the wallet and you have the bumper, so it's very, very similar, though this one addresses the issue that I brought up with the last one. I'll talk about that in a minute. So firstly, what I'll do is just take a quick look around the phone. So obviously I'm going to have to draw some comparisons to the last case that I reviewed, because they only have two cases at the moment for the Google Nexus 6P, and they have a very similar style. At the back you have the cutouts for the fingerprint sensor and camera, etc. You have a full bumper, which is the same as a normal bumper case you would have here. So you're going to get double protection. You've got the bumper and you have the actual leather for the case. Now this one has a full wallet. You know, it has like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 spaces for your cards. It has the clear screen and it's got a section for your notes. This does have a section for the notes, but it only has 2 for your cards, so it's a little bit smaller in that regard. There's no branding on the front, but you can see there the GMYLE logo there. So one thing I didn't show you is, like, I found that getting this phone into this bumper with this type of case, very easy, but it's a little bit trickier getting it out. It's not impossible, it requires a little bit more effort when you're getting the phone out. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when I've got my phone in a case, I don't want it to come out easily, so not necessarily a bad thing. So I'll go through the standard tests before I go on. First one is charging. Fine, no problem charging. There's the space at the bottom there. It's fine, there's no problems. Plenty of space for the headphone jack. And the thing that I pointed out in my last video at the end was that the buttons that your finger catches, your thumb catches a little bit on the case. And now this is happening again with this one. Not as much, I don't think. I'm not sure if it's clear here, but the lip at the top here with the leather, it's a little bit smaller. There's not as much of a distance between the plastic bumper and the end of the leather case. It's just a tiny, or maybe I'm imagining things, but it does look a little bit smaller. It feels a little bit better. It does feel a little bit better. So it's very easy to use. It just, when you do, like, see, you can see with the cutout here, you're actually touching the buttons from the phone. It's not like you don't have an overlay over the buttons like that kind of case. So you're touching the physical buttons on the phone. But your thumb does kind of catch the fabric just by the way it's designed. So your thumb, instead of going like that, you're kind of going to the side a little bit, you know, going at an angle. Doesn't stop you from using it. You know, it's not like you push it and it's not responsive. You can see here it's very, very responsive, and you know, volume goes up and down. It's very easy, but you do feel that your thumb does hit the case. To be honest, I don't think this is actually like a design flaw at all. It just, you know, obviously I'm used to a bumper style, so I'm not used to anything catching my thumb when I'm using it. So you probably noticed there that I was using my finger to open up using the fingerprint sensor, so I'll just show you that again. That's it. I'll just check my other finger. There we go. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Now, one of the things that I did point out in my last video, which I do encourage you to check out as well, because this is a really nice case, is when the phone's in this one, it doesn't sit perfectly. You know, when you sit the phone down on a table, it kind of sits like that. It's not 100% closed. You know, unless you put it that way. You know, if you set the phone case on a table, it's going to just sit up just ever so slightly. It's not a major problem, but that's not a problem with this one. You can see here. Perfect, absolutely perfect. It has that kind of magnetic feel to it. It kind of raises the question though, like, why doesn't this one have that kind of action? You know, because I do think it's better. It's a better design like this. And you can see the cases side by side. I'm quite surprised to see that this one, the wallet case clip, is a slight bit longer. It's a little bit higher in height. In width, it's smaller. Yeah, you can see here it's not by much. You can see there now. And again, to bring that into comparison to like a bumper on its own, you can see the kind of width that this adds. And all three together. In fact, bring in this other one. I think this one joined the party. So this kind of shows you the difference of a few different cases. And this is the wallet case clip here, the second one. So you've got the book case, that's the thickest. The wallet clip, the Moco with the hard polycarbonate shell, and then you have the Spigen rugged armour. Now this is probably the thinnest that I've got just now as far as cases, but I've got some more to check out. But again, from a width point of view, you shouldn't really be comparing these ones to bumper cases, because folio cases are, you know, you expect them to be bigger. They're going to be bigger, you know, and it's a good thing. It's a really good, it's a quality product. It's very good leather, and I'm actually surprised that this one is $10 cheaper, to be honest, because although I like this style and it's really nice and all that, I'd be inclined to lean more towards this one. I think just because this clipping action, I prefer this. I like how this sits flush, and the width, it's a little bit slimmer, so I think I'd probably lean towards using this one over. I was using this one today, and it does feel a little bit big, but again, I'm not really the best person to comment on using this style of case, because I've not used this kind of case for about 10 years, so I think with these kind of cases, you do really need to use them for a while until you get used to them. But this one sits really flush. You can see that. Yep. And my first impressions are that I prefer this one to that one. So, I mean, I used that today. I'm going to use this one for a day or so and just see how I got on with it. Because I do think with these kind of cases, you really need to use it for a few weeks to really get used to it and get used to how it gets used. Now, another thing that, just like this case as well, you can see it's got the fold there. So the idea is, you can fold it up there, and it's YouTube time. Now you can also do that. You can hold it up that way as well if you're taking photos and whatnot. But with this kind of style of case, taking photos does become a little bit of a pain, because you can't just grab it. You can't just grab the phone like this and take a photo. You know, the case kind of swings down the way like that. Now, another thing to point out, as I kind of briefly mentioned this earlier, is that this has less of a wallet. You've got 2 less slots, and it's a little bit, the slots do look a little bit smaller as well. You know, they've got cut out at the diagonal, whereas this one, you know, you've got all the way across. Not a big difference. So, I mean, as I spoke about in the last video, the idea would be that instead of having a wallet and a phone, you would just put everything into one package. So if you need more space, then that would make more sense to have this one. You know, if you get more space for your notes, more space for your cards. With this one, you've only going to get 2 spaces for cards, and then you've got your area for money, so it's a little bit tighter. To be honest, if it was me designing this case, I'd keep it the way it is, and I'd just lose this area. I really, I'd rather keep the thinness and have this style. But that's me personally. There's a lot of different cases out there. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at the wallet case clip. It is, in my opinion, a little bit better than this one. But it's just my personal opinion on this. I've not got a lot of experience with this kind of style of cases, so I need to be open-minded about that, because I don't want to be one of those people who just say I like cases to be that way, because people like cases, they like it a variety just as much as people like different phones and things, so it really comes down to your own preference. But I'm going to use this for a day or two, and I do think that first impressions are that it's a nicer case to use when compared to this one, just because it's a little bit smaller. And the other thing would be that clip, I really do like the way that it folds over. You just don't get that with this one. Look at that. You can see the difference. And this one is $10 more expensive. So personally, if I was choosing between the two, if you liked the designs of GMYLE, then the fact that this doesn't clip on, this would lead me to this one. So I do recommend the wallet case clip over the vintage one if you're looking at the two designs. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If I've missed anything out, please do ask a question below in the comment area, and I will do my best to answer them. If you've enjoyed the video, please do consider liking or subscribing, and please do stay tuned for some of my later videos. I've got some more good cases to review, and I'm going to do a big summary of all the cases soon as well. So please do check my videos over the next few weeks for that. Till next time guys, thanks for watching, take care.